I don't know how to manage the PowerPoint from here. Yes, this is yeah, that. Good morning to everyone. I'm very pleased to be part of this conference. Although I was told rather late that I would be part of this panel, I'm nevertheless very delighted to be in the company of Charles and Tala. And I'm very pleased also that Charles began with an overview of the issues that links migration with climate change and gender. My presentation is a short one, and this would be on the topic of gender, migration, and climate change, understanding women's vulnerabilities and response. As I mentioned, it is with a little trepidation that I accepted the invitation to be in this panel this morning, because I'm not really a specialist on environment, although at Miriam College we have Environmental Studies Center, which does all of these things. But I'm a social activist, and I'm involved in a lot of many activities that involve women, even women in conflict and women in migration. I have always assumed that one of the drivers of forced migration of people have been wars, conflict, and natural disasters. However, there seems to be a lot more issue than the linkage that we all presume to be there. For instance, there is a growing debate whether or not the growing numbers of people displaced by natural disasters or climate change events constitute a new group. How do we call them? Charles called them environmental migrants, which is a term that has been introduced by IOM. Others utilize the term victims and survivors of climate change as forced migrants. Yes. My goodness, maybe that's mine. Sorry. I forgot to put it on silent. Okay, so I'm already starting with my presentation. I forgot my objectives. First, that one is to clarify the linkage between gender, migration, and climate change. And along with that, although Charles has mentioned it a bit, to examine the gender norms, concepts, and practices that make them vulnerable, particularly in times of natural disasters. And I hope to, at the end, analyze how gender-responsive strategies can enhance disaster risk reduction strategies. Okay, so got rid of that. So next, please. So the definition is very important. As we said, there are many terms utilized. Others call them climate change migrants or ecological or environmental refugees. What's the problem there? Aren't they all the same? In international law, certain terms like refugees and migrants are well defined in international conventions such as the 1951 Convention